Hey everyone, welcome back to Alchemy with Zero Phase. I'm Eric, and got something really fun to go through with you guys. We're going to go from beginning to end, describing this new feature. Um, so I don't know exactly when this extension came out. I know I've been looking at this GitHub thing called InPaint Anything. Now I've watched it for a little while. I think it's been out for a little while. But it was something you had to implement separately. And they didn't have an extension for automatic 1111. Now, as of sometime in probably the last few days, they implemented the automatic 1111 extension, and it's phenomenal. I love this. It makes doing things like in-painting or erasing objects much easier. And I want to go through and we're going to do a brief overview of how to do the installation, which is pretty simple. They don't have it available in the extensions repository here yet. So you have to install via the URL. Okay. The URL, here's the link. I'll include the URL down in the description as well. You're going to go to the Git page and select code. You're going to select copy here, copy the Git URL. Go back to your Stable Diffusion, apply that here. Sorry, let me grab that. I already have it installed, but I'll walk through the basic steps here with you. So come back here, just paste it in here, and then hit install. Okay, that's pretty much it. Now, one thing you're going to want to make sure of is that you have automatic 1111 updated completely. So you're going to want to go to your install and check for updates. And I would install Xformers. If you're not using Xformers, it will help with memory management and speeding up render processes a little bit. I'll also include a bit of information, the command line on how to do that as well. Maybe link to another video that does that. I'm not going to take time in this to do that. Doing a pip install Xformers will within the command line of the WebUI directory. But so once you get that installed, restart the interface, and then you should end up with a tab up here that says InPaint Anything. Okay. Now, with InPaint Anything, there are 3 different models that this uses, okay? And the people who developed this extension are wonderful. You don't have to go download the models yourself. You just select each one of these, hit download model, and it'll download it automatically for you, okay? And let's see, I don't think, and there's some other things. So what it'll do is it'll grab from your model repository, your checkpoint repository, all the in-painting models, because part of this will deal with in-painting, okay? And it's set up pretty simple. You drop your image here, okay? And we're going to walk through I'm going to generate an image. Then we're going to bring it in here. We're going to segment it. We're going to create a mask. We're going to pick out what we want to manipulate, change, erase, whatever, and then we'll walk through that entire process. This is a pretty fun thing to do. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to generate an image. So we're going to head back over to my prompt generator. I kind of want something that has some detail to it, some items in. I'm kind of thinking a bedroom or something like that. So let's go like this. Let's go a view of a maybe messy, I don't know. Let's just say of a very nicely decorated master bedroom. Wall decorations, chairs, dressers, dresser. Let's just go from there. Let's just say digital illustration, no artist reference. Okay. Let it pull out the prompt for that. Grab that. We're going to head back over to Stable Diffusion. And I'm going to use realistic vision. I'm going to switch over to the actual checkpoint to generate the image. Paste this in here. Select my negative prompt. I'm just going to use the... I don't think we need any of the other specialty ones. Let's do prime negative. For those who are interested, let me just insert that into there. That's my prime negative prompt. Probably don't need a lot of these, emphasis brackets on some of these. I leave it. I like it. It works really well for me. We're just going to reduce this down to 20. Leave everything else like that. I think we're going to do a little bit of a wide shot though. We'll bring this up to 960. Let's generate a few of them and give it a go here. Let that render out. All right, perfect. So let's go through these images. Let's see if there's some things. I want one that's got some stuff in it that we can manipulate and change. So let's bring these up here. Got some items on the table, a couple picture frames on the wall. Very nice looking picture. Let's take a look at these other ones. Not a lot going on there that we would manipulate. Again, these are all kind of super high luxury. I like this one here. We can do some things with this. So let's go ahead and take this one over to well, there's no send to in-paint anything yet. So you have to actually grab that image and save it and move it over into the other program. So give me just a second here. Okay, so now we have it over into in-paint anything. Okay. First step, once you get the models downloaded and everything is pretty much set up, you're just going to bring the image in here, run segment anything. What this does, it loads the model, the proper model or the model you have selected here, goes through the image and uses visual processing to identify everything in the image, and it puts a color mask on all of those items. So your initial scan of it may take a little bit because it has to load the model and initiate a few things, but most scans, or when you go through this successively after that, should be a lot quicker. Okay, so now this is where I got a little confused when first doing this. Like, so what do I do here? It's not like it's highlight when I hover over stuff, it's not highlighting anything, and it took me a little while to realize that all you're going to be doing is selecting those areas. You don't have to like completely mask stuff out. Initially you start off with an in-painter mask pointer that's really small. You can adjust the size of this. We'll bring this up just a little bit. Okay, and let's say for instance I don't like the picture in the background above the bed. Maybe I want something a little different, maybe a beach scene or something like that. So what you're going to do is actually select the colors that you want to mask. And what's really simple is you can start with the small one and select, put a dot in each one, or you can just select like this, where the mask covers. Anything that the mask covers, it selects. Okay, and I'll show you here. So now we have that selected. We're going to come down to create mask. It'll go through and analyze what you've selected here and come down here, and what it does is it highlights what you've selected in a brighter color. Okay, just like that. And what I've found is, even though it's selected that, to get the best results, you want to expand the mask region a little bit. Okay, so you click that, and what it does a quick analysis and then just expands that mask area a little bit. I'm going to do it one more time. Okay. The trim mask by sketch, I'll show you that here in a little bit, if it depending on what this does here. If we see it in paint, it doesn't look like it's selected anything else. Everything else is grayed out. Sometimes you get images where it'll have like the mask outlining something, and you'll want to use the trim mask by sketch to get rid of that. And I'll show you that in another example. So we have that. Now what we have to do is decide what do we want there. So I'm going to put in a picture frame of a beautiful tropical beach, waves, palm trees. Okay, so we're going to put that in. Yes, you do want a negative prompt in this. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go back. We're going to grab this one here. Go back to inpaint everything. We're going to drop that in there. Okay. And then we can run inpaint. It'll go through, and all it'll do is it'll grab that and change the what's on the wall, basically what's highlighted there. See if it does it. We're using the Stability Diffusion 2 in painting. I may change that to something else, but if you look, it actually did a pretty good job. What we can do, let's see here. Can we bring that up full screen now? So there's still some features they're going to, I hope they implement with this, like the ability to click the resultant image and blow it up full screen. You have a download option here, but you don't have any other options like save or send to whatever. So you have to kind of work within those bounds for right now. The mask, it is interesting. It looks like, yeah, no, I did a pretty good job. It looks like it's not merging that too badly, and the edges look great. So what we can do, I want to try a different in-painting model here. We're going to do realistic vision, and we're going to run the in-painting again. This may take us a few more seconds as it has to load a different model. Excuse me. Yeah, this was interesting because some of the images I was working with, oh, there we go. Yeah, no, very cool. Wow, that's very bright, very vivid. The border, the framing looks very straight. Perspective looks good. So yeah, that looks great. So let's go back up here. We're gonna do we're gonna do something else. So these lamps, we're gonna change those up a little bit. So let's come up here. We're gonna clear out the mask we have currently. Okay, we can bring the other image in, reanalyze or whatever. This is just for fun. We're going to bring this down so we can select these. We're going to select that lamp and that lamp. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to say dark, what was the word? Oh, biomechanical, greasy, yay, probably. Yeah. Lamps. I just want to see what it does. This should be interesting. So we don't have to do anything else here. We are going to create the mask again because right now it's set to that. So we have to create mask again. Oh, we probably no, we got rid of it. Okay, yeah, I think we got rid of the other one. So it should come back, and the lamp should be the only thing highlighted. Let's select the lamp shades too. So we'll select those, create the mask again. We're going to do a whole remake of these lamps. There we go. Perfect. And again, we did not get any outside selection. Something you want to be sure of. You'll see like brighter lines around things. So we got that. So let's go ahead and we got the prompt that we want. Super simple, but we're going to run it anyway. And this is so fun, being able to just take an image. You can change whatever you want in the image. It is like in painting. In painting's a little different, when you're using the basic standard in painting. Oh yeah, that's cool. A darker look, slightly different shape. I like that. That's nice. So let's see what we could do. Let's do one more example here. I mean, you're getting the idea, right? So let's go ahead and let's wipe that out. This blanket right here. Let's change that so that it is a white, let's see, black frilly blanket with red roses and lace. Okay, so we're gonna, again, we wiped out our current mask. We're gonna come back here and create the new mask. It should only select this end blanket. Perfect. Yeah, that looks great. And then once we got that, we'll run the in painting. Come down here. Let's see what it does with it. And again, it's still rolling the dice, but when you get your prompt right. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. So here's an instance where I would expand the mask a little bit. As you can see, there's still a little bit of white right there. And over on this edge here. So we come over here and we select expand mask. Do it a couple times, because it does it just a little bit at a time. It looks like it's covering everything. So then at that point, we just hit run in paint again. Probably come up with a different pattern this time maybe. We can actually specify seed and everything too. So let's just see what it does first. See, yep, see how it incorporated the edges there. It looks like it kind of redid this, so it looks like you're looking at the bottom sheet there, which is okay. Still looks great. So under the advanced options here, you do have configuration settings to adjust sampling steps, the guidance scale, or I think it's like the config scale on the other one. So yeah, the CFG scale. Then you also have the seed, where you can set a specific seed if you want. I think obviously -1 just sets a random seed. That's why we get a different image every time. So yeah, that looks great. Now what we're going to try, and this particular feature I've had some mixed results, but I think it was because of what I was doing and the size of the mask. When you looked at the title picture for this video, you'll notice, in fact, let me bring over those examples here so I can show you real quick something that was going on with those examples here. Let's see. So let's bring this up. So here is the example picture I used for the title, Handsome Devil. Yes, this is a picture of me that I used a trained checkpoint on. So if you're all wondering what I look like, I am quite handsome. And then here's the picture. So I used in paint anything to change what I was wearing, which is way cool. There's some refinement I could have done down here. There was apparently an extra color I didn't quite see there. This image here is where I tested the erase feature. So initially when I was doing this, I had selected my hair and my face, and as I tried to erase it, all it was doing was like mangling my head. It was creating this weird, distorted, I don't even know if you'd call it a head, just, mash of pixels. And it wasn't until I expanded the, expand mask region out a few iterations that it finally grabbed it and just completely erased it. I think what it comes down to, and this is how AI works, is giving it context. And context to the AI is pixels. And as I expanded the mask on that, it was able to take in some of the surrounding pixels of the wall behind my head. And at that point, it gave the AI enough context to realize, oh, hey, we're erasing this and surrounding it with what's around it. So we're going to kind of do the same thing here. We're going to come up here. We're going to wipe this out. Okay, get rid of the selection we had there. And what I want to do, I don't think this picture in the background right here is placed right. I mean, you got these two nice pictures here. I think that one's kind of out of place. So what we're going to do is we're going to select that. It does have a bit of an outline. I'm not sure if we need to worry about that. I think we can account for that when we expand the pixels. So let's go ahead and we'll get rid of that, and then we're going to get rid of something else here. I have an idea of what I want to do. So we're going to check the mask on that. Let's see what it looks like. Give it a second. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, it does look like it's keeping kind of the shadow and border of that. So we're going to expand that out a bit to see if we can't cover that. A little bit more to cover the shadow. Now we're going to come over here to cleaner, okay? And then I leave it on llama. Llama is the one that does really well, okay? So we're going to go ahead and we've got the mask set up. In our selection, we're just going to run the cleaner. It loads the model. It may take it a second. Let's see how long it takes. Oh, that was quick. Okay, so I think what we need to do is, what did it do? Let's see. So cleaner. Where is it taking its reference from? Okay, so yeah, it's exactly what I was saying. Is you got to give the AI enough context around whatever it is you're trying to erase to actually get rid of it. And so I went back and we remasked it so you can see it's still got a border there. So we're going to expand this out. I only expanded, I think, like 2 or 3 times before. We're actually going to go out quite a ways here to give it enough padding and enough reference pixels of the surrounding area so that the AI understands what it is you're asking it to do. And I think that should be good. So we're going to go ahead and run cleaner again. See the image there? I was kind of manipulating because I was messing around with it. And there you go. Bam, gone. Okay. We're going to do one more as an experiment. Okay. So let's wipe this out. We're going to select this bench. Okay. We're going to see what it can do with that. What do we want to get rid of? We have the legs, the pad. Looks like that leg might be a little different than the rest. So we'll select that. Let's create the mask. Give it just a second, and there we go. Okay, so do we have, it doesn't look like we have any excess selection here around it, and so we are going to expand it. This is going to be interesting because in the samples that they show on the website, things like shadows and dust tracks and stuff like that were left in place. They even have videos they use this on where they removed the car, but the dirt and the dust being thrown up by its tires were still visible. It was the most bizarre thing you've ever seen. So let's go ahead and expand the mask on this. We're going to go a few out here, maybe 5 or so. Well, let's see. Just like I said, we want to give it enough context to work with and see what it does. This is one of those things you just have to kind of play around with to get the best results. So, okay, let's go ahead and run the cleaner. Let's see what it does with it. Doesn't take it very long, at least on my system, and woo, got rid of it. Now we are dealing with a missing leg on the bed over here. That's totally fine. We could actually fix that in post, you know, in doing a different in painting or whatnot. Now, one thing I'm kind of curious about is if we can do multiple objects. I didn't do that before. I've only done one object at a time. So let's go through. I want to select the paintings, these 2 paintings here. And let's get rid of, what do we got here? We got a lamp right there, a couple lamps right there that don't have a reflection. Let's get rid of that last one. I might have selected something outside of the bounds. Let's get rid of these 2. Okay. All right, let's see what that mask looks like here. So we're going to leave the bench. I kind of think the bench should be there. Okay, so we got those all selected. Let's expand the masks a little bit. Get those out of there so they're covering quite a bit of region around it, giving the AI plenty of context to work with. Okay, let's give that a try. Run the cleaner. Oh my good night, look at that. Okay, so we got the painting here still needs a little bit of expansion. So we're going to expand the masks a little bit more and run the cleaner again. Bam. Wow, look at that. Got rid of the lamps. You know, the dresser's still there. Here's the interesting thing. You got the light from the lamp still. Now, I don't think that gets taken into account here. But hey, it is what it is. You can actually go through and fix that in post if you want to. So just in paint that whole section right there and just re-render that. So interesting. So here's another thing you can do, and this will go into how this coloring kind of works too. So let's clear this out. Let's say you want to select a whole bunch of things at the same time, and you don't want to just sit there and try and click on stuff. Let's say we want to get rid of this over here. We're going to select right down the center on this. Okay, we're going to select that. And I think that's it. So this is going to do something very interesting, and I'll show you what it does here. So we're going to hit Create Mask from that. I think I got rid of the other masks selections. So you notice something very interesting here. It not only selected this, but it selected this weird outline around stuff. Okay, and it took me a little while to realize what was going on here. So when it's generating this color paneled mask here, or generating, identifying each item, assigning it a color, it's doing that over what looks like a solid color background. It could be black, like a dark gray or something like that. And all it's doing is it's fitting these panels in with a little bit of buffer room around them representing the objects. And so what you get is this line that represents the color in the back. And I believe that that color in the back is its own panel. And so when you select something like this, you're selecting that color too, which selects the entire back panel. Okay. And then you get this selection of the outline. Okay. Now, don't be frustrated with this. It's not that big of a deal. That's why they give you this trim mask by sketch. Come over here. We're going to just increase that, and we're going to get rid of all of this. And what this is going to do is tell it, no, I don't. Actually, I think we only need to do that. Let's just see if that works. If it tells it not to select that background. No, okay, so we got to select everything that we don't want selected. So we're going to go through and just select all of that, get rid of all that, hit trim, and take one more look at it here, make sure we don't have anything selected that shouldn't be selected. Okay, all right. So that allows you to draw and select stuff with a solid line, select a whole bunch of stuff with scribbling, but then you can come back and unselect the things you don't want. And it does actually do it by panel here too, and I'll show you what I mean. So let's bring this back down, and let's just say we don't want to select this right here. Not just the leg. Well, I think what this is going to do is unselect that particular color panel, which is that bottom one. So yeah, no, it looks like it. Yeah, it looks like it did just do the leg. Okay, interesting. So let's grab that mask again. I'm going to wipe out what's there, increase this. I still want to see it erase this nightstand. It's right in the corner. Should be very interesting to see what it comes up with there, and what it thinks is underneath the, and behind the nightstand. I love doing examples like this. So let's trim the sketch. All right, got what we want. Let's expand that a little bit. I think that may be one of the functions they may want to improve is like a little variable where you can say expand by X number of pixels. That way you're not having to sit here and click and click and click. You know, it looks like we have kind of a mask down here too. There we go. Okay. All right, let's see if that works. So go ahead and run the cleaner on that one. And yeah, it did a pretty good job. I mean, it obviously doesn't know what's there, and it's just going off the darkness that's down there. So you get the wall back there. Looks like maybe it was burned or something, but it got rid of it. Got rid of the lamp, put the wall there, and did a pretty good job. Yeah, very, very interesting, very cool feature. Okay, so they have a mask only option here. I have not played with that. I don't know. Let's just see what it does here. Oh, that's cool. It gives you the mask, so you can kind of play with that. You can save that, take that over into things like inpainting, and do other things with it instead of just working in here. So it gives you the option of taking the information you generate out of here into the other tools and utilizing those other tools to do further refinement, manipulation, or otherwise. That's great. That's awesome. So that's really it for this. Very cool feature. It's awesome that it's using vision technology to identify the different items in the picture. And it's amazing that it knows to, what you're selecting and when you create your mask and how to identify that and just mask out those areas. I think this is going to be a very, very powerful tool in working with images, changing them, refining them. it was kind of funny. I was actually working with an image of me and my daughter, a picture I took of us standing on our front porch looking at the rain, and I selected her and put in puppy dog as the what do you call it, the positive prompt, and got a really good image of a gorgeous looking little puppy and in a blanket, and it looked real. It looked amazing. And so I texted that out to my family, and one of my brothers replied back, "You got a dog?" Like, total surprise. Like, they wouldn't ever expect us to get a dog. Not that I wouldn't like one, but we're not in a position to get one right now. And then I sent the other images of the other puppy that I rendered, and then of me and my daughter, so that you got the idea that I was just kind of trolling him a little bit. And so it's fantastic what you can do, and it's going to be kind of scary too, because this is a pretty powerful tool in a lot of different ways. You know, maybe as an example here, let's let me bring up another example here. I'm going to just show you guys something. Okay, just had to do a little setup here for this and a little testing. I wanted to make sure I wasn't doing something that would cause YouTube to flag this, as you'll see how incredible this is. So we're going to grab my negative prompt again. Oops, no, I didn't mean to generate. I meant to do this. Let's grab that. Back over to InPaint anything. We're going to drop that in there first, just so I have it set up and ready. And we're going to grab an image that I generated a little while ago when I was playing around with the regional prompter. Okay. As you can see, we have a beautiful picture of a woman wearing kind of a lacy blouse, nice orange dress, purple belt. I was using regional prompter to give her red hair, the white blouse, purple belt, and the orange skirt. So regional prompter's cool. I will be doing a video on that here soon. I know I've said it before. So what we're going to do, we're going to run the segmentation on this and extract out the itemized detail of all the items in it. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to select this, everything that's her shirt. Okay. I think that should be everything. Let's go ahead and run the mask and just kind of see what it does here. Make sure we get the proper mask. Okay, it looks like we got some selection out here, and over there. We're gonna redo that. I don't want to do the selection tool quite yet. Like that, that. I'm gonna do this back one here too. That. Let's try that again. There we go. I think that looks a lot better. Okay. So now we're going to expand the mask region because it definitely works better. Again, give it some padding. I hope they really put this in as a slider variable so you can choose how much padding you want to give it. Then we're going to come up here and put in a picture of a beautiful woman wearing a intricate blue halter top. Okay, and we run the in-painting. Give it just a second here. And there you go. Now, as a lot of you might have guessed, this has a lot of implications. You can do a lot of things with this. And yes, I have tested it. It works better than any in-painting option you have out there for quote-unquote adjusting pictures. So keep that in mind. This has a lot of functionality. This has a lot of power to it. One of the things you can also do is reverse the mask. So what we're going to do, we're going to select the rest of her clothing here, her arms, hair, face. Let's create that mask. I want to make sure I got the right one selected. Okay, it looks like, oh, forgot that one. Okay, and I think that would be it. Okay, generate that mask, take a look at it one more time. We're going to expand it just a little bit. Now we're going to invert the mask. Oh, it's probably going to do it. We're not going to expand it from this one here, so we're just going to create mask. And what that'll do is it'll invert it, selecting everything but what we've selected. Just like that. Okay. We are going to, I'm going to expand the mask on this. I just want to see what that does. Yeah, it looks like it's going to kind of do that. So I don't want that. We're going to just select what we have here. And then what I'm going to do up here, we're going to do picture of a beautiful woman walking down a country town street. Okay, run the inpainting. Again, just give it a second here. And there you go. It's getting context because it knows she is the focus. It is using an inpainting model, which is interesting, but it does look like it gave a decent background, kind of nondescript. There's not much for it to work off of with that, which is fine. You know, we can maybe even do this in front of a black background. I want to see if it'll just remove. We could probably just remove the background too. I want to kind of see if that works by the cleaning method. This has been a lot of fun. I've been using this since I got it installed last night. So it did kind of its own random thing based upon what was in the background. That is interesting. Let's try the cleaner. I want to see what it does. It may not remove it. It's probably going to replace it with something else. But again, this is all fun because we're just experimenting and learning new things. Ah, there we go. Okay, you know, that's not bad. That's kind of fun. We could actually use that. Does it give a different response every time? No. The cleaner is interesting. It's like almost locked into a particular seed, and it'll generate that same thing every time, unless you change the masking around different objects. In fact, we're going to make a quick few minor adjustments here because we do have some masking I don't want in here. Because that does affect the image. Probably not much in this particular instance, but it can affect it. So let's run the cleaner again. I want to see what it does here. It will change it probably a little bit. Not much, right? Interesting. Try the inpainter again here. I'm not specifying like what kind of black background. I'm just saying black background. So it's interpreting that however it wants. And if I were to do something like solid black background, it might change it up a little bit. So definitely interesting. So yeah, this is definitely something you can have fun with. Do a lot of walking on a sunny beach. And just experiment. I mean, do this to get inspired, or you don't have to throw away all your images. You know, I know a lot of the times I'll render several images, and each one of them has a feature I love, but then it'll have features I don't like. And so I spend a lot of time inpainting or re-rendering and trying to get the option that we want, or option that I want, and it just doesn't ever work. This gives us a lot more tools to work with. And kudos to the people who developed this, because you know, this goes right in the face of Adobe and their Firefly software, and it's free. So have fun, everybody. Remember, like and subscribe. Check out my Etsy shop for updates every once in a while. If you haven't joined our Discord, and you've purchased one of our Etsy products, one of our prompt generators, join the Discord. We'll give you access to that, and you'll have access to each of the different versions that we come out with after you've already made the purchase. So great having you guys here. I'm glad for everybody who's supporting me in this, all my subscribers, and anybody else who watches. So we'll talk to you later in the next video.